Hi friends, today let's paint this Boba Squishmallow in gouache. I'm using the Himi Gouache jelly cups. It's actually my first time using gouache, so I'm very excited. Let's start by sketching, and we're gonna draw her head. She's got a cute little straw coming out. Then she has the cute rim of her cup. Then her body comes out. Here's the bottom. She has a cute little flower. It's a green flower. It's got a little yellow center. We'll put in her cute eyes. That's pretty good. Maybe this eye's a little big, so I'll make it a little smaller. Same with this one. So we'll use this teal green color since it looks like it was made for her. Some up here. We're going to need to dilute it with white to get it into more of a lovely pastel. Okay, let's pick up some white. And we'll mix it together. Use my little swatch card. Okay, I think she's a little more green than that, so gonna go ahead, add in a little bit of this green. That looks really good. Okay, so hopefully that's enough paint. Let's just mix this all in together right now. And then what I could do later on as we get towards the top of her body is we can mix in some more white. This is interesting since gouache is opaque. Then I can just paint over it if I needed to. I'm gonna start adding in some of the white. I don't think I mixed enough paint. The paintbrush is dry. So we're gonna grab some more of this teal color. Grab a little bit of the green. Take some of this white. A little more. Okay, now we'll mix it together. Let's see. The color's pretty close. It's actually closer to the original Squishmallow. Alright, so I think we can go ahead and use that. Let's just go over it again. Starting from the bottom. Okay, my brush is getting dry. We need to add some white. Get some water. Okay, let's see how this is. Okay, Okay, my brush is getting dry. So there's definitely a learning curve with watercolor, but and I guess I thought that gouache would be a lot easier, but maybe because I'm finally used to watercolor, I'm not finding gouache to be that easy. Oof. Pick up a little more white, mix that in, get a little more water. Okay, now I think I can go over the eye area. Since it's opaque, I should be able to just, like, as long as I could see where it goes, I should just be able to paint it in. But I kind of want to leave her flower, so I'm just gonna go put this in. And this paper is also very thirsty. It's not great quality. It's supposed to be 100% cotton, but I kind of doubt it. Alright, try to go around her flower as smoothly as possible. I'm going to pick up a little more white, add some, a little bit of a lighter color, maybe add some kind of highlights. Get some white, and then we'll also get some of this kind of a light brown color to mix in with the white. And that will help with his cream top. Add a little water and paint. That's perfect. See that my brush isn't really clean all the way, so I could see some of that blue, but that's all right. I'm gonna grab some more of that paint, that cream color, and then I'm just gonna go over it again. For Boba Cup rim, it's a little bit lighter, so I'm gonna just take what remaining mixture I have, and I'm gonna add a little more white to it, and that should get me the color that I need. So I've never used gouache before. I did use tempera paints in school, and I figured it would be somewhat similar since tempera paints are also very opaque. And I guess it kind of is, but I don't know, there seems to be more of a learning curve with this one, I think. So what I'm gonna do for the straw is, in person it's actually iridescent. What I will do is I will take the white paint and mix it with the tiniest bit of this color, like the teal that I had from earlier, and then just kind of make it white. And then later when it's dry, I was gonna add some sparkly watercolor paint that I have. We'll do her cute black eyes. So I'll take this. So I'm gonna wet my brush, get out the excess moisture, because I want it pretty dark. And then I'll pick up the black. And let's see, is it dry? It looks dry. So I'm gonna go over the eyes. Let me see if I have a better brush for this. I think this is for acrylic painting, but it has a nice sharp point, so I'll go ahead and try it. Let's get some more paint. I think sometimes this is the hardest part of drawing a squishmallow, is drawing those round eyes. It's hard to paint a perfect circle. Now we're going to draw her eyelashes that kind of come out like this. Now based on the placement of this eye, I kind of have to move this one. And then we'll draw a circle here. Dilute that a bit more with more water. Let's get a little more paint. My brush is too dry. It's like too hard to control when it's too dry. It's also hard to control when it's too wet. Let's draw her eyelashes. We'll draw her cute little mouth in between. There we go. That's cute. Now we're gonna draw her little boba. She has, it looks like kind of like this coralish color boba. Take some of this coral color. Well, it's kind of a reddish orange. I'll take some of this kind of magenta color. We'll mix it with some white. And I'm going to use my swatch card to see what it looks like. That's cute. Maybe a little more orange. Add a little orange. A little more water. Match that. That's cute. Now I'm ready to draw her little boba. It's going to be kind of on the bottom, kind of random places, almost like zigzag dots. Try to make it as round as possible. Those are so cute. Okay, now that the boba are done, we're gonna move on to this cute little flower. I'm gonna use this green color up here. Pick up some of that. A little blue. Just a tiny bit. I need a little more green. Great. Add a little more water. And then the flower is also iridescent, so we are going to add some of the iridescent watercolor on top. I got this iridescent watercolor from Finetec, and they make that really pretty gold watercolor paint that you see people using for calligraphy. And so I went a little crazy, and I bought it a long time ago, but I never really used it. I don't know if you're like that too, where you get into a hobby and then you go a little nuts. I did that with watercolor. And I think I kept thinking, like, if I buy the right thing, that'll make me better somehow. But really, it's practice. And so I'm practicing now, and I'm practicing with y'all, so that hopefully we can learn together. And I find it really enjoyable and meditative. I just love it. I hope you guys enjoy it too. It's hard to find the time, but even if you just have like 20 minutes a day, if you can find that time, I feel like you can make something small like this, but it's still nice to be able to do something like that for yourself. Okay, now the inside of that flower is yellow, so I'm going to pick up a little bit of, actually I'm going to pick up some of this golden yellow color. I like that, that's really pretty. And then we're going to add that right to the middle. I want to add some of that iridescent watercolor that I was talking about. That's the Finetec one, to the straw. Let's use this one. Yeah, I could see it in the light. That's pretty. Do you guys have a favorite gouache that you use? I've heard that designer's gouache from Winsor & Newton is really good. So I'm curious about that. But I should use this first and see how I like it before I invest in it. So that's really pretty. Here, I'll try to show you. There you go. You can kind of see that, right? The iridescence. And then we'll wait for this to dry, the flower to dry, and then I can add some iridescence there. So the interesting thing is with watercolors, I feel like I could add shading and stuff like that pretty easily. And then with gouache, since it's opaque, I actually have to make a color for the shading and add it, versus with watercolor I can kind of lift away for highlights, or I can kind of darken an edge and then soften the edge. I'll try to get more of this teal color just to kind of darken up the teal that we used for her body. Maybe I could add it as shading. So since I started adding highlights on this side, I'll add the shading to this side. Let's see. Try to blend it a little bit. So what I did was I kind of washed out my brush a bit and took out most of the moisture. Now I'm just trying to blend. Add some highlights on the other side with a little bit of white, and then mix it into the teal so it's not stark white. I'm going to dilute it a bit and not make it too wet. So that gives a little dimension. Bear with me, it's my first time using gouache. She's still pretty cute. Now I'm gonna add a little iridescent sparkle to the flower. This one up here. It's kind of like a greenish iridescence. Add a little more water. Okay. The inner flower, I'm going to use some of this. It looks more like a goldish color. We'll add some more water and just add it right to the center. See? That's cute, right? You can see the iridescence. That's pretty. And then I could add some to the boba as well. We will add this one. It's kind of an orangish iridescence. So if you have any sparkly paints, this is a fun way to go in and use them. Found this amazing person on Instagram, I think, who makes her own sparkly watercolors. So beautiful. I'll add a little bit of shading to the cream part on top. I'm gonna take the color that we had earlier. I'll add a little more of this tan color. Then I need to add a little more white. Maybe we can go through and do a little shading. So now we'll pick up a bit more of the white and do a little bit blending on this side. There, that adds a little texture and dimension, so it doesn't look so flat, because the gouache can tend to look a little flat. Okay, we're done here. I hope you enjoyed painting this Jacaria Boba Squishmallow, and I hope you learned a thing or two. I know I did, using gouache for the first time. Here's another painting I did. This is of wildflowers. If you're interested in that, be sure to stay tuned for that video as well.